Oh, this is a video to say when you are older, you find happiness. Usually, I'm at the point in my life where I don't have a job, but I'm pretty happy. I have a very small amount of money. I pay my rent and I live on $200 a month, and they're also stealing my food stamps from me, in my opinion. So, what I'm saying is, I don't have shit, but I'm still happy. Because at least I have a lot of objects in this room. What I'm saying is that once you have stable housing, you can essentially become happy. As long as you develop the patience to be alone with yourself all the time, if you have the patience to be alone with yourself all the time and you can still go outside whenever you want, then you're happy. That's usually what makes you happy. And I have a lot of neat like really cool hobbies in my room. I mean, I haven't been able to nail the quitting smoking cigarettes part. I haven't been able to quit cigarettes yet. But it's like actually a lot of the time I'm miserable. But overall, I would say I'm happy. Like I was just lying in my bed listening to Moni and Kichi, the album by Gregory and the Hawk, which is one of my favorite albums. And I just felt so happy. I felt so at peace. Because what I do in here is meditate silently, or I do introspection work, which is actually really very, very difficult and something I should probably stop doing. Because the reason I realized I was happy was because I'm like, it's a sunny day. And for my whole life, I felt like the world was a fucking shithole. But now that I live in the suburbs, when I go to the city, it doesn't really feel very scary anymore. Like when I was younger, I was afraid of everybody and I didn't know who to trust. But now that I'm older, I just don't trust anybody. So that means I mind my own business. I go to the city and enjoy this sunny day with my mouth shut. That's how you become happy. You have to learn how to be alone and be happy with yourself. Now I don't work because I think I'm a cripple, because I'm essentially like, I just can't get out of my fucking bed most of the time. And usually my thoughts actually get very dark sometimes, but that's because I'm schizophrenic. But when I shut my mouth and I look around me, I think to myself, why am I so afraid? Because there's not really a good reason for it. When the people in the city, I just realized for a long time I felt like they were monsters. I felt like everybody was a monster for the last 2 years because I've met so many bad people and I've been raped and abused and beaten up so many times that I just considered everyone a fucking threat. But now I realize that if you don't talk to anybody, you'll be fine. As long as you never speak to anyone, that when you do, you just be nice to them so you can get away from them. That's essentially my mindset. That's how I've maintained such a high level of happiness. And now I'm starting to realize that there's no reason for me to be so serious all the time. Because essentially, whenever I do my introspection work, which is when I talk to myself, I'm like really fucking thinking about very serious, sort of non human things. But there's no reason for it. I'm certain. I said to myself, by the time I'm 40, I feel like I'll have everything figured out. Something about me is that I don't have a driver's license. Because I did drugs for 4 to 6 years, about 6 years, well, 4 years, and I started smoking cigarettes at 18, so more like 6 years. Because I was addicted to triple C, which is dextromethorphan. And what I'm saying is, you eventually find happiness. Usually by about the time that you're 30, if you're a human, or for me, it's about at the age of 26 now. When I was 24, I didn't understand myself, but now that I'm 26, I can see that I'm Lain Iwakura and that I've realized I'm one of the most badass people on earth and shit. But now it's like, now that I've already gone through all of that, what's the point of continuing to cuss people out? Well, cussing behind people's backs and shit, I should stop. Because, like, at some point, you just gotta learn to be happy. There are success stories. Mine is very similar to the Suicide Boys because Scrim and Ruby were addicted to drugs and miserable and hopeless just like me, and I was also suicidal. I would cut my wrists all the time and shit, and get hospitalized and put in psych wards for being schizophrenic, and doing drugs all the time in a fucking house with other people. They would call the cops on me. I'd been to so many psych wards, it was crazy. And that lasted for 4 years. I barely even remember anything that happened before I was 24. But there were lots, like, yeah, there's 24 years of my life, but I don't remember anything because I was such a low life that all I did was abuse drugs. And then when I got sober, I actually did some alcohol and crack, but that was about it. But it's like these guys, they got sober, and now Scrim is happily married, and these people are like 6 years sober, 7 or 8 years sober. And it's like, yeah, once you've been sober for that long, you're just a lot happier. The only problem is that I'm still schizophrenic, and my body is always in pain. So that's why I lie in my bed. Also, once I became a Republican, that brought me so much happiness. When I became a Republican and started learning about Republican politics, it brought me so much happiness because I felt like I finally understood who I was. So what I'm saying is, my life lesson is that you can be happy. I mean, look at me. I even bought this watch even though I really have no money, but I bought this watch for $20. I mean, it's really amazing, man. This is the watch. But it's like a very nice watch.